On ne gagne pas les 24 heures du Mans, on y survit. Au cours des 10 dernières années, aucune équipe n'a relevé ce défi avec autant de succès qu'Audi.
The number 2 car looking awfully strong.
Side by side in the inside run. Oh, Christensen. He's got to come in this lap. Go. That could be the deciding moment in this motor race.
Perfect. Now we are talking.
Capello, Christensen, McNish, victorious at Le Sabre. You did it, dude.
Le Mans a accueilli sa première course d'endurance sur 24 heures en 1923. C'était un projet audacieux et un choix géographique surprenant. Pendant 24 heures, l'homme et la machine seraient poussés jusqu'à leur dernière limite. Et parfois, au-delà. Au Mans, les carrières se font et les légendes naissent. Le vainqueur devient une véritable icône. L'édition 2011 sera un défi pour Audi. Comme jamais par le passé, le courage, plus que les kilomètres, mesurera leurs efforts. Une nouvelle page de l'histoire de la course s'écrit. De nouveaux héros entrent en scène. Et chaque seconde compte. Toute grande course est fondée sur une grande rivalité. Pour Audi, cet adversaire, c'est Peugeot.
To race with a Peugeot it's really great because they are really fighters.
You need strong competitors in the race, and if you can win against strong competitors, I think the value of our victory is much higher.
Cette rivalité commence il y a presque 20 ans. Après 2 victoires consécutives en 1992 et 1993, Peugeot n'alignera plus d'équipe au Mans pendant plus d'une décennie. Au tournant du siècle, Audi remonte sur le devant de la scène et remporte 6 des 7 courses auxquelles elle participe, marquant ainsi l'épreuve de son empreinte. En 2007, Peugeot revient au Mans. Une rivalité est née. En 2009, Audi croit décrocher sans problème son 6e titre d'affilée. Mais après des années de domination, l'histoire rappelle à Audi que la victoire n'est jamais acquise au Mans. Peugeot profite des difficultés d'Audi pour décrocher les 2 premières places sur le podium.
Spoke to Ralph Jutner about when do you start thinking about next year. He said tomorrow. It takes 12 months of planning to win this race.
Piqué dans son orgueil et avec un nouvel état d'esprit, la marque allemande aborde l'édition 2010 en outsider. C'est la première fois depuis 7 ans qu'une Audi n'est pas flanquée du numéro 1. Mais Audi va répondre de la plus belle des manières à ses détracteurs. À la fin de la course, un des grands champions du Mans faisait son retour au premier plan. La voiture numéro 9, avec à son volant Mike Rockenfeller, Timo Bernhard et Romain Dumas, terminait la course avec un record de 397 tours. Et Audi balayait la concurrence. Avec cette victoire, Audi écrivait un nouveau chapitre de sa glorieuse histoire.
Yes, there are manufacturers that achieved more victories in Le Mans, but none did it in such a compressed period of time. The intensity of wins from Audi in these years is on a level that nobody else ever achieved. And we always tried to continue to improve, and we always found a way to improve.
En 2011, la nouveauté est symbolisée par une nouvelle voiture, l'Audi R18 TDI. Le nouveau règlement de l'ACO donne l'obligation de réduire la taille du moteur.
We had to cut down from a 5.5 litre V10 to a 3.7 V6. Uli Beretsky, our engine guru, he came up with the best overall concept, not just for the engine, but for the whole car.
We make smaller engines, but we make not weaker engines. We just make engines which are more efficient, so they use the fuel better than the others did. But for a driver, they have no lack in performance.
Pour accompagner un plus petit moteur, les ingénieurs mirent au point une voiture plus équilibrée, avec la technologie d'allègement Audi Ultra.
We needed a highly efficient car from aerodynamics to run fast on the straights and have even enough downforce in the corners. So the R18 is, after many years, the first closed car that we have developed for the 24-hour race.
It's nice to sit in terms of the buffeting, means that the head is more or less still. The air goes over you, and in that sense you feel a good sensation inside the car.
It definitely feels better to have a roof protecting your head.
We always try to be on the highest level of safety with our race cars possible. And when we took the decision to make a closed car, we have seen a chance to do a very special, strong monocoque out of one shell and not out of two shells, bonded together like all the others.
La conception d'une seule pièce permet la création d'une capsule de sécurité à la fois plus légère et plus résistante, qui protège mieux le pilote en cas d'accident. Les ingénieurs Audi ont fait la R18 plus sûre, et d'après les pilotes, elle est aussi plus élégante.
To be in that car, you know, when you see pictures sometime and you see, wow, I am the guy who's driving that car, that's cool.
Audi engagera 3 R18 presque identiques en 2011. 3 voitures et donc 3 équipages. Timo Bernhard, Romain Dumas et Mike Rockenfeller, les tenants du titre, piloteront la voiture numéro 1. Avant sa victoire en 2010, l'histoire de Rockenfeller avec le circuit est plutôt mouvementée.
Devastation for the Audi team. Young Mike Rockenfeller has crashed the R10 heavily.
Il a fallu 3 ans à Rocky pour connaître le succès.
When you stand on that podium, it's hard to describe. And yeah, I hope I will have it again.
C'est une situation que connaissent bien les pilotes de la voiture numéro 3. Tous des champions du Mans. Dindo Capello, Tom Christensen et Alan McNish totalisent 13 victoires. Capello court pour Audi Sport depuis sa première apparition au Mans. Il a 3 titres à son palmarès. McNish, tenace et rapide comme l'éclair, a gagné à 2 reprises. Christensen, quant à lui, a gagné à 8 reprises la course, ce qui lui a valu le surnom de Monsieur Le Mans.
7 victories, a record 7 now becomes 8. Tom Christensen extends his record-winning run at Le Mans.
La voiture numéro 2 sera pilotée par ceux qui ont terminé à la 2e place l'an passé. Marcel Fessler, Benoît Tréluyer et André Lauterer forment un équipage Audi depuis 2 ans seulement, mais ont rapidement pris leur marque. Chacun a gagné des épreuves individuellement dans le monde entier. Mais ils doivent encore faire leur preuve au Mans.
For sure the pressure is there, you know, Le Mans is one of the biggest races in the world and really don't want to mess it up.
Les pilotes ne sont pas les seuls qui sont mis à l'épreuve. Une armée d'ingénieurs et de mécaniciens les accompagne et chacun doit être parfait dans son rôle.
In addition to the drivers, of course, look at the team behind each car. With the 3 car, with McNish, Dindo and Tom, you've got Howden. He has got all of the experience. And, of course, he's won the race before. The 2 other lead engineers, they are not as experienced in terms of leading a team.
I started with Audi in 2007 as an assistant engineer to Howden Haynes. Prior to meeting H, I'd never done anything at this level. I'd done analysis before, but on nothing like this kind of car.
I've treated Lena like an apprentice, you could say. You know, you want to bring people in, I would say bring young people in, but she's actually older than me. But, you know, you bring someone up from the beginning and sort of turn them into a race engineer that we feel we need, you know. We felt that she was ready to take on that role of lead engineer of her own car.
La décision de promouvoir l'ingénieur Lina émane directement de Wolfgang Ulrich, le patron d'Audi Sport. Au cours des 12 dernières années, Ulrich a mis en place une dynastie du Mans. De l'extérieur, il paraît sévère, mais son regard déterminé cache une véritable passion pour son équipe de course.
The general impression that people get is of a very cold, regimented individual. He likes things to be precise. He's motivated to win without question. But on the other side of it is the sort of very much a human side of it. And he's very close with his drivers. He puts the arm round the shoulder when need be and gives the kick up the backside when need be as well.
We are a team that sticks very close together. Each one supports the others. And this is something that was building up through the years. I was pushing always very hard that we live motorsport like a family. And I think that's one of the small things that make it different to the most of the other teams.
I think when you're putting a team together, whether it be a soccer team, racing team, the key is the word team. It's got to fit together. The people have got to fit together. And in an event like Le Mans, you've got 3 drivers in one car. There is a knack there that Dr. Ulrich has. He can see something in the personalities of people more than necessarily the driving characteristics that he thinks, Alan will fit really well with Tom, but those two probably need a dindo just to balance it all out. And now, over the 3 cars, we've got probably the strongest driving combinations we've ever had. And the 3 cars work together, not just individually, but they actually work together for the greater good. But we do know that only one car can win. And we always want to be that one car to win.
Cette année au Mans, 3 équipages Audi et autant pour Peugeot s'affrontent. Le constructeur français aligne au départ une nouvelle voiture, la 908, avec un moteur diesel V8. Pour la première fois dans l'histoire de leur rivalité, la saison 2011 débute sur un pied d'égalité pour Audi et Peugeot. Mais seul l'un d'eux était prêt pour la première course de la saison.
Peugeot tested that car at Sebring over 12 hours. The R18 wasn't ready for that test, and Peugeot came away from that bruised and battered, but I would have thought with a slight Gallic smile on their lips because the car performed so well. The R18's debut at Spa was the first time that we saw real competition.
Après avoir vu à Sebring ce dont était capable la nouvelle 908, il était impératif qu'Audi teste sa R18 dans des conditions de course. Dès le début de la course, la fougue d'Alan McNish lui joue des tours.
With McNish, he's gone round. Oh, he's gone round already. Cold tyres, cold brakes, and now he's going to have to sit there and wait for the whole of the field to shoot past.
Les problèmes se multiplièrent et la première sortie de la R18 fut une énorme déception pour Audi.
And he's just going to let the Peugeot go past because he's not at full racing speed. Drama then in the Audi camp.
In Spa, we had a car that showed quite some potential from the speed, but we didn't make several things run as they should run. It was just not a perfect weekend for us.
And that's a new rear end going on an Audi.
Spa was not a good race. Everything that could possibly go wrong had gone wrong.
2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go and Marcel Fassler's brought the 2 car in. Splash and dash. Audi couldn't have got their calculations wrong, surely. Very, very strange indeed.
Partly down to preparation, partly down to a new car and teething troubles. It was very tough though, very tough.
The first time we saw Audi and Peugeot go head-to-head, and very much a commanding victory from Peugeot. They've had the pace over Audi throughout the race, and the next time we'll see these cars will be at the famous Le Mans 24-hour race. And that pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Peugeot happy, Audi still slightly pensive.
Le Mans, ce n'est pas seulement une course. C'est la fête du sport, avec les pilotes comme invités d'honneur. C'est difficile à croire, mais la plus grande épreuve d'endurance du monde, appelée circuit de la Sarthe, se court en majeure partie sur des routes publiques. Long de 13 629 km, il contient de nombreuses difficultés, y compris une portion de vitesse. Sur la ligne droite de Mulsanne, la vitesse dépasse allègrement les 320 km/h et retombe à 80 km/h seulement dans les virages les plus difficiles.
When you go in the S Porsche, it's just crazy how quick it is. And the feeling you have in the car with the G's we take in the corners is just amazing. If you take a roller coaster, you know, when you just finish the roller coaster and then you say, okay, I want to do one more time. And here it's during 24 hours.
La course de Spa n'a pas rassuré. La voiture est certes prometteuse, mais les promesses seules ne suffisent pas pour gagner au Mans. L'affrontement avec Peugeot est pourtant imminent.
In a racing environment, you really don't know how you match up to your competition until, let's say, the first qualifying session. That is where it kind of, the truth comes home, you know.
Les R18 ont été spécialement conçus pour résister 24 heures sur ce circuit. Dans le passé, Audi n'a jamais réussi à atteindre la vitesse de pointe des Peugeot lors des qualifications. C'est un vrai handicap. Cette année, plus que jamais, chaque seconde sera cruciale. Mais la malchance frappe tôt quand Romain Dumas percute une Aston Martin qui fait une embardée dans le virage d'Arnage. Un accident pendant les qualifications n'est pas rare au Mans. Chacun veut être le plus rapide. Mais un second incident concernant cette fois l'Audi de Tom Christensen s'avère plus inquiétant. Ces déceptions sont compensées par le succès de la voiture numéro 2. Pour la première fois depuis des années, Audi est plus rapide que Peugeot lors des qualifications. Et Benoît Tréluyer décroche la pole position.
It was not intentional. I mean, a pole at Le Mans is brilliant, but it's not going to win you the race. But I still didn't know we had pole position until I noticed all the photographers with our drivers, and I thought, something going on here.
All the journalists were there, like pole position, we're like, wow. But it didn't feel like, okay, you know, we were gunning for it, and our main focus was for the big one, for the race.
Une journée de course au Mans est incomparable en compétition automobile. 56 voitures participent. Mais seules 2 équipes, des géants, peuvent réellement prétendre à la victoire.
So we come to Le Mans with a feeling that maybe Peugeot have an advantage. No, Peugeot do have an advantage. They've raced the car more. And we've seen in the past, when Audi haven't been out there racing, sometimes their performance at Le Mans has suffered.
I think last year we won because we made perfect race, no mistake, and that was for 24 hours. If it works the same way for 23 hours and 50 minutes, it's not enough, that's it.
I think the most intense moment of the 24 hours of Le Mans for everyone around, for the fans, for the drivers, for the team, is the start.
Timo Bernhard démarre au volant de la voiture numéro 1 qui est en train d'empiler les victoires. Alain Macnish, toujours rapide, pilote la voiture numéro 3. Et Benoît Tréluyer, en pole position, prend le volant de la voiture numéro 2 d'Audi.
I'd never started before in Le Mans. It's a long race, you have to be quiet in the car. And you know you're going to start for 24 hours and everybody want to lead at the beginning. So yeah, it was a bit of stress.
The pressure's building up each day more and more and more until Saturday the flag drops and then we go racing. So it's a great feeling.
Keep the engine revs up. Currently temperature is 50 degrees. Need to warm the engine up.
Okay, crew, just do a last equipment check. Make sure everything's ready. Alan, mix 1, or higher if you need it for the tyre.
There's a reason why I nearly always start Alan in the car for the beginning of a race. You know, he's like a Scottish terrier biting at the ankles of, you know, the French. He kind of sets the tone for the rest of the race for not only us, but also to our opposition. And we know that they get rattled by Alan being in the car at that beginning.
Prepare for start. Remember, no overtaking until you cross the line.
I really don't know if Peugeot don't like it, whether I start or not. If they don't like it, it's their problem.
This is a great formation start. Big blast of Peugeot diesel smoke from row number 3, and McNish gets a great start. It's Audi, Peugeot, Audi. McNish has already dealt with one of the French cars. He's on the inside. He's going to lose that position.
As you can see, there are cars already being lapped.
This is only now the 5th lap of the race, and you've got this absolutely superb battle between Montagny and Alan McNish. They go past the Ferris wheel, they come into the Ford chicane, up over the timing line. Alan McNish looks quicker as he comes out of the chicane, but he's blocked by Montagny as they come across the line, but McNish tries to squeeze up on the inside. Fantastic stuff, this.
And I'm not sure that the clerk of the course might not want to have a word with Montagny about that. That's quite an ambitious block there. Montagny is a very brave young Frenchman in order to be dealing with McNish like that. Last year, the winning Audi went further than anybody else has ever been before at Le Mans, and this looks as though McNish might do it this time. He's in the correct position as he comes up. Now, can Montagny again outbrake him or not? No, he's going to let him go. Now, will McNish be able to get away? That's now Audi. 1, 2, 3.
C'est un formidable départ pour Bernard Tétréluyer en première et seconde position, suivi de près par l'Écossais McNish. Audi et Peugeot sont les maîtres du circuit.
This is a 24-hour sprint. These are new cars. We haven't seen them here before. This shows a massive degree of confidence from both of these teams, because they really can't afford to have any slip-ups, and they're driving so aggressively, all of them.
Une intensité rare pour une course d'endurance. Les Audi et les Peugeot sont à fond. Nouveau prototype ou non, elles survolent la concurrence à la recherche du moindre avantage qui fera la différence.
Something happened, I didn't see, but if anything happened on the track, I think there is one of our cars will crash.
I was watching the data itself, and I saw that the car wasn't taking the trajectory that it should have done. And I looked up at that point in time and saw the crash actually happening. I think at that point it was doing its rollover over the tyre wall.
Oh, that is a monster accident. That is a big, big accident. And who on earth was that? It was one of the Audis. It's McNish. Alan McNish off in a big way, launched up the inside, and that is a very, very big accident indeed.
At that split second, you don't put what you're seeing on the TV into what's actually happened, and it takes some seconds for everything to piece together.
We saw the car travel at high speed into the barrier, and I knew immediately it was our car.
I looked across at Howden, who was on my left-hand side on the pit wall, and I could see that he hadn't had a response from Alan at that particular point.
Are you okay? Alan, are you okay?
Is the driver okay? That's the first thing that kind of goes through your mind.
Alan, can you hear me?
He didn't reply on the radio, and I got a bit anxious.
Alan McNish went up the inside, the safety car has been deployed. At that sort of speed and at that sort of corner, that is a very big accident indeed.
And for what seemed like an eternity, there was no movement. But then you saw that Alan was actually moving inside the car, and they started to get him out.
I released the belts a little bit, had a look outside, and I could see that there was nothing left of the car. There was just basically bits thrown everywhere. The survival cell, the monocoque, was all what I was sitting in. At which point I knew the race was over. I knew that everything we had done, I'd just taken the lead of the race, was gone. There was 23 hours to go, and it was gone.
Once all that kind of emotion is out of the way, then it's just downhill from there on. You know, then you've got, shit, that's it. Our race is completely over before it's, you know, even begun.
And that is the end of Tom Christensen, Dindo Capello and Alan McNish's 2011 Le Mans. I'm sure they will stay at the circuit in the Audi family spirit in order to support the cars number 1 and 2, who are now still lying first and second.
You have to get used to it, you know, that's kind of racing, and then you've got to snap out of that and, right, where can I focus my attention now? My car is out of the race. Now it's about, you know, the group. It's about Audi and the 2 remaining cars. Lena and Kyle, both of them, it was their first Le Mans as lead race engineers. They have to learn how to cope with the emotion, how to cope with the rough and tumble of the race itself. So I kind of made it known to both of them that I was here if they needed me.
Pendant la course, Lina pourrait s'appuyer sur son mentor, mais elle préfère concentrer toute son attention sur son pilote.
I knew Ben's first question would be, is he okay? I replied back and I said, okay, we'll check on him, because it was quite important at that stage to ease his sort of fears of what had happened to the sister car.
Ben, Alan is fine. Fine.
Okay, thanks for the information.
Après plus d'1 heure avec drapeau jaune, les voitures Audi 1 et 2 creusent leur avance à chaque tour. Mais la course ne se gagne pas seulement sur la piste. Les arrêts au stand vont se révéler décisifs lors de l'édition 2011 des 24 heures du Mans.
No, this is a fuel-only stop. Fuel-only stop. You stay in the car.
La stratégie de course d'Audi est d'effectuer 11 tours de piste avant de faire le plein. Les Peugeot enchaînent 12 tours avant un arrêt au stand. À la fin de la course, cela doit se traduire par au minimum 3 arrêts de moins pour Peugeot, et donc un bonus de 2 minutes. Audi oppose la vitesse de ses R18 à la stratégie plus défensive de la marque au Lyon, dans l'espoir que leur vitesse supérieure compense le temps supplémentaire qu'elles passeront au stand.
Timo, the plan is for you to do 4 stints. 4 stints.
We tried to minimize the time in the pits. We did this with doing 4 stints on one tire.
De son côté, Peugeot changera les pilotes et les pneus tous les 3 stints. Audi fera sans doute des arrêts au stand plus souvent, mais moins d'arrêts de service complet. Reste à voir si la stratégie d'Audi s'avérera meilleure que celle de sa rivale. Pour le moment, une question plus urgente se pose.
What's happening with the Audis? Timor went across the line 4 seconds ahead, and there's Ben Trelliway just dragged past him. So has Timor had a little incident there, or has he got a problem? Because he's lost 4 seconds.
The
car's pulling a little bit to the left. Kyle, the nose has popped out on the left-hand side.
There's a report of some damage at the front of the Audi, but he's being caught hand over fist. He's about to lose second place as well, so there's something not right, clearly, for the number 1 Audi here.
L'arrêt imprévu au stand fait retomber la voiture numéro 1 de la première à la 5e place.
Now, Timo Bernhard has just given over the car to Romain Dumas. Paul, that was a short run for that car, presumably because of that damage was making it difficult for Timo to drive it.
It was a stop that they can ill afford with it all being so close at the top.
Une fois le problème réglé, Romain Dumas se lance pour 2 heures à fond. Dumas remonte de 2 places et se rapproche de la Peugeot numéro 7 lorsque ce circuit qui peut être aussi capricieux se rappelle à lui.
Oh, and the number 1 car is off the circuit.
Contact.
It has gone around. Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich resolutely kind of shakes his head. Doesn't look like there's any damage.
No contact.
I've had a not quite so happy feeling about that car.
Une collision pendant les qualifications, un contact avec un retardataire et maintenant une sortie de route. Une nouvelle victoire ne semble pas à l'ordre du jour pour les tenants du titre. Lorsque la nuit commence à tomber, André Lotterer continue d'attaquer.
I'm enjoying watching André Lotterer going well. I mean, he's really charging hard.
Pendant que Lotterer tourne bien, Dumas opère un arrêt de service complet. C'est le 7e arrêt de la voiture numéro 1, soit un de plus que Peugeot, qui a fait rentrer les 3 908 10 minutes plus tôt.
That's another 11 laps done, one less than Peugeot is doing currently. And there's going to be a driver change as well, look there, because Mike Rockenfeller is going to be the next man aboard.
It's all action down there at Audi. They're a very efficient team, just hard at work, nothing dramatic or different.
Équipé de nouveaux pneus, Mike Rockenfeller se concentre sur la poursuite du leader de la course. Au crépuscule, l'avance de l'Audi numéro 2 piloté par Lotterer dépasse 1 minute.
Andre, pace is very good. Pace, very good.
You've got Lotterer lapping in the 333s, Mike Rockenfeller's Audi in the 332s, but find a Peugeot and it's doing well to be 334 or 335, so they're losing round about 2 or 3 seconds a lap to cars they're chasing anyway.
Devançant 2 Peugeot, Rocky amène l'Audi numéro 1 dans une position qui lui permet de dépasser la Peugeot numéro 7 en 2e position. Au Mans, la nuit impose ses propres règles. De nombreux moments décisifs de la course se sont joués dans l'obscurité.
It's really a strange feeling driving at night at Le Mans. It's really dark. You have these long straights where you think at that time you are alone on the track.
It's just you, the car, the lap time, and that little bit of vision, and you're really in a different world somehow, because you don't see anything else. And in the day you see the crowds and everything, and there you're just in that little world.
I really love to drive at night. Once you get in, you know, you are alone in the car, you do your 3-4 hours, you are so awake, you have so much adrenaline. It's such a great feeling just to go that fast at night.
And that's something which is special in Le Mans. You know, you work 1 year to prepare the car, to get everything ready, and then you are in the car alone. You have to do your job. It's my responsibility in that moment, and all the people rely on me. You have it in your hands. it's unbelievable the pressure you have. And if you make a mistake, you know, I mean, we are all human beings. It can happen in Le Mans. But the influence in Le Mans is much bigger. Small details can go wrong and the race is over.
Tour après tour, Mike Rockenfeller entre dans le costume d'un champion. Il a trouvé son rythme. Ses temps au tour baissent.
I quickly adapted myself to the conditions, to the car. You know, we were fighting back, was able to catch up.
Now, what's also just happened at the head of the field is something that we haven't had since the second hour of the race, and that is an Audi 1-2, because Mike Rockenfeller has got himself past the troubled Peugeot Marc-Genet.
How big is the gap to the leader? The leader, 65 seconds. 65. Copy.
And then I was on this straight after Mulsanne corner. I'm going to Indianapolis. I flashed a few times the headlights. I thought, okay, he saw me.
Rocky, do you copy me? Rocky, do you copy?
We tried to get in contact via radio with Rocky immediately, but there was no reply. And if there is no reply, normally this is not a good sign.
In the darkness hours, we get pictures of what looks like a model kit spread across the track. We can't identify the car. There's not enough left of it.
Andre was driving at the time, and he wasn't that far behind Rocky.
Andre, the incident is on the way into Indy. Debris on both sides of the track, so be very careful, be very careful.
I come up and I thought, wow, that's could be a big one, because I know we're traveling there at 330 kilometers per hour, and then I get closer to the scene and I see all these parts around, and I was like, wow, this was bad. And I was like, where's the car? And I couldn't see where the car was.
Holy, what was that? What, the car looks completely finished.
Copy that, Andre. We've seen it.
Who is it? Let me know as soon as you know, because I got a bad feeling.
Andre, it's Rocky.
It's never good when a hush falls over a racetrack. And again, for the second time today, unfortunately, we have a hush. There are stunned faces in the Audi pit. This is a massive, massive accident. You can't even really tell that that used to be a race car.
After Alan's crash, you know, you saw, okay, we're doing a dangerous race here. As soon as you go off the track with the speeds we're going, it's a big one, and there it was even a bigger one. You know, it's one of the highest speeds area of the track. I thought, wow, will I be the next one?
Everything was pitch black in the car, so I didn't know where I was on the track. I wasn't sure if I'm on the track still, if another car is coming, and then I don't remember so much anymore. I jumped out of the car myself, I don't remember it, and yeah, I had a headache.
The good news, Rocky went out of the car on his own. He's behind the barrier. He's a little bit dizzy, but they bring him to the medical center.
Andre, Rocky is fine. Rocky is fine.
Hallelujah.
This is what they're designed to do in the event of an accident. They are designed to send bodywork, said gearbox, said wheels and suspension samples. All of that disperses the inherent kinetic energy.
Personne n'apprécie cela autant qu'Alan McNish. L'Écossais est de retour après des examens médicaux approfondis.
You can rest assured that the guys back in Ingolstadt that have done the design of the construction of this new one-piece monocoque, they did it for performance, but they also did it for safety. And they go beyond the regulations with the tests that they do to ensure the safety of the driver. And right now, I want to give them all a very big hug.
Chez Audi, la morosité règne. Il ne reste plus qu'une seule voiture face au puissant trio de Peugeot.
Instead of having 3 legs to your tripod, you'd gone down to 2, and then suddenly you were on a single leg.
The Audis are being driven on the limit because they have to be to stay in contention.
That puts a heck of a lot of stress and strain, not just on the driving crew not to make a mistake, or the mechanics not to make a mistake, but also the guys, the engineers, the strategy, everything else. It had to be right because there was no fallback solution.
I don't know that I felt the pressure as much on the pit wall, but back in the garage, I think that intensified quite dramatically because now it was one Audi against effectively 3 Peugeots, and they were still very strong and still fighting very hard.
All the people from all the 3 cars said, we now stand together, we concentrate on this one car, we have a common goal now to bring this car to the end and make a win out of it.
The whole team pulled together because you know at this point it's all or nothing. We had to stay ahead.
Okay, Ben, to confirm, the safety car is in this lap. No passing anyone until you cross start finish.
Copy that.
After over 2 hours of the safety car, after Mike Rockenfeller's massive accident, we're back to green racing.
L'Audi numéro 2 est seule, mais elle est devant. Il reste encore presque 14 heures de course. Et repousser les lions sera épuisant. Simon Pagenaud se rapproche rapidement dans sa Peugeot numéro 9.
Simon Pagenaud on that last lap of 3:27.820 shows you just how hard he is trying.
L'Audi numéro 2 doit faire un arrêt. Le 15e pour les Audi contre 13 seulement pour les Peugeot. Et cet arrêt sera un arrêt de service complet. Pneus, pilote et carburant. Il durera environ 100 secondes. Si tout ne se passe pas à la perfection, Audi va perdre la tête.
Box this lap, full service. Crew, he is 1 minute to the box. Coming into the pit lane.
L'arrêt au stand est rapide, mais il ne l'est pas suffisamment.
A minute and 44-second pit stop, so it looks like Simon Pagenaud has taken the lead.
Marcel Fessler est maintenant au volant de l'Audi numéro 2 et il a du pain sur la planche. C'est la 13e heure. Les 3 premiers sont séparés par moins d'1 minute.
Simon Pagenaud at the wheel of number 9 has a lead of just 20 seconds over the number 2 Audi.
Pour la dernière Audi, conquérir le mythique circuit français ne sera pas facile. En fait, l'effort est surhumain. Heureusement, Red Sonja est à l'œuvre.
Red Sonja is our little girl, racing girl. To give a name to your racing car, it's helped you to be kind with her.
Élancée, puissante, racée, l'Audi numéro 2, appelée Red Sonja, porte bien son surnom.
She's this comic girl, like comic fighter girl. They showed me a picture, I was like, wow.
Ce sont les mécaniciens qui lui ont donné ce surnom, mais c'est bien aux pilotes qu'elle obéit au doigt.
She always give you more and more. You ask for more, she gives you more.
You know, we make jokes about it, but it's not like a woman. I think it's a pretty... You can compare it, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a piece of carbon with a big engine in there.
Marcel Fassler, he's margin behind Simon Pagenaud now, 9.917 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see if Fassler can close, because that'd be huge if he could put the pressure on Pagenaud.
He needs to do that to send a message to everybody that he can run them down.
Plus facile à dire qu'à faire. Rattraper du temps dans l'obscurité est une tâche ardue.
Looks like Pagenaud has pulled out another 4 seconds on Fassler. That's not good news for Audi.
It was not the easiest stint for Marcel, because it was not easy to get the grip. You had to push really hard on the tires, but you didn't have that much grip because it was a little bit too cold.
It was a bit edgy, a bit tricky to drive. You try to go as fast as possible, but you have to take a little bit more care about the limit.
Lorsque l'aube approche, la tâche de Faessler est simple. Garder l'Audi numéro 2 à bonne distance de la voiture de tête. Heureusement pour Audi, le soleil levant fait remonter la température. Faessler est meilleur au volant, mais l'aube impose à Faessler un nouveau défi.
We had a few issues with visibility, just because of sunrise and also because of the amount of dead flies on the windscreen.
How is it, Marcel?
We lose too much time. I can't see nothing. I can't see nothing.
Il reste moins de 10 heures et il est temps pour le leader de la course de faire un arrêt, laissant l'Audi numéro 2 seul avec la Peugeot numéro 7.
Anthony Davidson has Marcel Fassler in his sights.
Aveuglé et attaqué, Faessler se bat comme un champion.
The leaders going through, separated by less than a second now. Absolutely unbelievable.
The Peugeot behind is the position.
Yeah.
Anthony Davidson pulling right up underneath the tailpipe. He comes to the right. He's got the inside position. They make the sweeper towards Indianapolis, and Davidson takes the spot going into Indianapolis. What an outstanding. And now Faessler tries him back. Faessler comes through Indianapolis, pulls alongside, and Davidson slams the door as they head down into Arnage. He has got his hands full of Marcel Faessler. You can't slip a piece of paper between these two guys at this point. This is absolutely fantastic. Davidson goes off the track. Davidson slides wide in the first chicane, and Faessler retakes the lead. So in 2 laps, we've had 2 lead changes here. This is the classic that we had hoped it would be.
La longue attente de Faessler dans la voiture numéro 2 prend fin lorsqu'il ramène Red Sonja au stand. Audi est en tête et la dernière heure va commencer.
Happy hour is when everything goes really fast. It's in the morning, just when the sun comes up. It's still cool. The track has been improved through all the cars going by, more rubber on it. That's when you can do just the fastest laps.
So you don't get so much traffic, good condition for engine, good condition for tires. The happy hour is the best moment to do the quickest lap on the track.
Andre Lotterer is flat out. He's just set the fastest lap of the race.
Ka-ching! Yes, indeed. We've got another new fastest lap.
La dernière heure, c'est l'heure de la vitesse pour tous. Et à ce jeu-là, Lotterer est le meilleur.
And that's the fastest lap of the race. It's a 3:25. A 3:25.289.
That is extremely impressive lap by young Lotterer.
Lap in his life. Oh, lap of his life, yeah, fucking hell.
Well, well, well. There's life at Audi in a very big way indeed.
Après 2 relais seulement, Audi déroge à sa stratégie et change de pilote. Lotterer cède le volant à Benoît Tréluyer qui doit écourter sa récupération.
They woke me up very quick after I started to sleep, and they just let me know maybe you have to jump in the car because maybe you're going to start for 5 stints. I was thinking, wow, I hope that maybe will be maybe not, because when you just wake up, you don't have time to brush your tooth or take a shower. I just imagine in 10 minutes you have to be ready and jump in the car.
Can you tell me what time this is?
Ben, it's 8:02 in the morning. You are in the same queue as the number 9 Peugeot. He should be just ahead of you.
They say, okay, you are in fight with these two cars. The one in front of you is leading, the one behind you is third, and you are second. I say, okay, great, thank you guys.
And right on Benoit Treluet's tail now is Stéphane Sarrazin in the number 8 car, actually 4th overall.
When he overtook me, I was thinking, okay, you really have to wake up as quick as possible and do your job.
Then the number 8 car was not the position, he was a lap down.
Un des avantages de l'attaque à 3 des Peugeot est maintenant manifeste. Même si elle ne représente pas une menace pour la voiture en tête, la voiture numéro 8 entrave les vues d'Audi sur la première place.
Audi has all the cards stacked against them because Peugeot just have the numbers.
I just wonder if Peugeot thought, hello, we've hit something here. Can we rattle these guys? Can we get them to change? Can we get them to drive maybe more conservatively? It's the only car left. It's the lone, vulnerable Audi.
It was tough to turn around and see that there were 2 shutters down and that ours was the only one open. But at the same time, in my mind, it was just about getting our car across the finishing line and winning the race.
Mais la course commence à s'emballer. La Peugeot numéro 8 continue à poser des problèmes. Le numéro 7 apparaît dans le rétroviseur de l'Audi. Un tournant dans la course. Et Benoît Treluet y répond par une manœuvre pleine d'audace.
This was awesome. To pull this in such a race, that was one of the best racing moves I ever seen. I mean, this was, wow.
I knew that was risky, but it's just a part of the job. Our job is risky. So.
He pulled that one off and I was like...
Treluet est bien réveillé et roule à une vitesse exceptionnelle. Il est à la poursuite du leader et en moins de 2 tours, la Peugeot numéro 9 est à portée de vue.
Did I cycle the deck or not? Yes, attack.
Benoit Treluet has pulled off an absolutely awesome manoeuvre around the outside of Simon Pagenaud there. The Audi is back out in front.
Avant de rejoindre Audi, Treluet pilotait une Peugeot pour Pescarolo Sport. En 2009, au Mans, il partageait le volant avec Simon Pagenaud. Cette course s'était terminée brusquement, après un incident au petit matin pour Treluet. 2 ans plus tard, le Français livre une bataille mémorable à son ancien coéquipier. Pendant qu'en tête, la voiture numéro 9 livre un duel à Red Sonja, les Peugeot restantes sont victimes de la guerre d'usure.
And there has been a big incident for the number 7 car.
Ben, car 7 has gone off at Indy.
Copy that.
Ben, car 7 is moving slowly in front of you. Lots of debris, lots of debris.
Copy that.
L'avantage du nombre qu'avait Peugeot vole en éclats.
Well, it was a 6-horse race at the beginning, and then it went down to 4. All of a sudden, it's going to be a dogfight, isn't it?
Treluet fonce sur le circuit et augmente sa maigre avance à presque 1 minute. Il roule à fond, ce qui était la stratégie dès le début. Mais cette stratégie a un désavantage. Elle se paye par davantage d'arrêts au stand. Il faut faire quelque chose pour récupérer les secondes perdues.
We had to maximise our time on the track. It became apparent very quickly that we actually could do more stints on the tyre. and that actually that would save us time.
Audi décide d'enchaîner un 5e relais avec les mêmes pneus pour économiser un arrêt de service complet pendant les 5 dernières heures de la course et ainsi gagner environ 40 secondes. Mais qu'on ne s'y trompe pas, c'est une stratégie risquée.
Everyone going into Le Mans know you want to stretch the tires for as many fuel tanks as possible. There is a high risk because when the tire, let's say, go over the edge or when it drops, you can lose a lot of time if you have to come in too early.
Cela implique aussi de ne pas changer de pilote. Tréluyer et l'un des 2 autres pilotes devront rester au volant presque 4 heures chacun. C'est un énorme effort qui leur est demandé.
The number 2 car is on pit road. It looks like he's going to stay in it. This car has been absolutely had its neck wrung out there, but it's only taking on fuel. He's not going to take tyres. And he's out.
That's a quintuple, or whatever the 5 times 5
quintuple.
They must be very confident about tyre wear.
I think the tyre strategy was a massive turning point. It was awesome. It was awesome. Nobody had done it throughout the race. Nobody would do it throughout the rest of the race. It clearly really rattled the guys at the other end of the pit lane.
Au lieu de sortir du stand en 2e position et plus de 30 secondes derrière la Peugeot numéro 9, Tréluyer est dans son rétroviseur. De plus, si tout se passe comme prévu, le leader devra bientôt faire un arrêt de ravitaillement, ce qui permettra à l'Audi numéro 2 de prendre la tête, si ses pneus ne le lâchent pas.
Oh, my heavens.
Tréluier's tyres are getting very tired.
Very tired indeed as he got very squirrely coming back on the racetrack. That was a moment.
Le numéro 9 va faire le plein. Tréluyer prend la tête. Bien que la Peugeot ait fait 2 arrêts de moins, elle est toujours derrière. Jusqu'ici, la stratégie d'arrêt pour ravitaillement d'Audi est meilleure. Alors que Tréluyer continue de creuser son avance, André Lotterer se prépare au dernier changement de pilote. L'Allemand, toujours calme, parviendra à ramener la voiture numéro 2 au stand.
Is Andre ready in the pit?
He's here.
Le 5e relais du Français est impressionnant. Et qui plus est, il a porté l'écart à plus d'1 minute.
5 stints on those tyres. Those tyres will be well worn. Andre Lotterer will be the driver who takes the wheel of that car.
I knew we were doing well, and I was really pumped up. You know, I was doing these fast lap times in the morning. I felt great about the car, and Ben comes out of the car and giving a little tap on the shoulders. Don't worry, man, I got this.
When you think, oh, I'm gonna be 3.5 hours in the car, you're thinking about a normal car. In normal condition, driving on the highway and boring in a car. But in a racing car, in Le Mans, you're not boring, you know, it's just you keep pushing, and when your stint is finished, you say, wow, it's already finished.
Just woke up, jump in the car, and being a sandwich in between the Peugeots fighting like that was the hardest wake-up call I've never got. But the car is good, really.
André Lotterer est en pleine forme. Il fait un départ canon. L'implacable vitesse de l'Audi lui permet bientôt de retrouver une vieille connaissance.
Oh good, another Peugeot for the number 2 Audi to deal with.
Yes, another one.
C'est la Peugeot numéro 8, celle que Tréluyer a dépassée il y a maintenant 3 heures.
Oh, and he gets cut off by the number 8 Peugeot. Lotterer was pretty much alongside as they went into the underneath the Dunlap bridge, and just absolutely got his nose chopped off by Frank Montagny, and then Montagny a little swerve as they were going through this Forest S's to try and keep Lotterer behind him.
When a car is many laps down and not battling for the lead, or not even battling to stay on the lead lap, I think that was overly boisterous.
Lotterer pulls around on the outside. He's not going to be able to do it here.
Andre, that Peugeot is 2 laps down. He is 2 laps down.
He falls in behind Montigny as they go into the second chicane, right up on his underneath him again as Montigny slowed down in the middle of the corner. Just absolutely, this is unconscionable.
There was a lot of what can only be described as car banter between them.
This is being a little cheeky here at this point, Chuck.
Cheeky? Cheeky? That's dangerous.
Any other race, I would have probably just gone crazy over the radio, but I didn't say anything and I just was waiting for my best opportunity to pass.
Dives down the inside and takes over the spot and puts Montigny a lap down.
In Mulsanne, in the last moment, I just dive in and took a big risk, and you feel it's not necessary to take those big risks with a lapped car, but you know, at the same time, the clock was ticking and had to do it.
Ah, Wolfgang Ulrich gives it the yeah.
Emotion from Dr. Ulrich, we don't often see really graphic illustrations of it. Just that little... And you could see how everybody in the pit fed off that.
Andre Lotterer with 3 hours and 6 minutes remaining. Gets by one obstacle and now must go in search of the next.
Une autre menace plane sur le leader, les conditions climatiques.
Oh, well, it looks like it might be raining a bit harder out on the far side of the circuit.
À 3 heures de la fin, ce qui n'était qu'une bruine anecdotique se transforme en une averse menaçante.
This is the rain that we have been expecting and it has arrived.
Une fois de plus, Peugeot profite de l'avantage d'avoir encore ces 3 voitures en course.
When one car is really leading and the 2 others are just behind, they are not fighting for the win, you can send another one other car and look how is the intermediate tires. Then, in that situation, you can help the leading car.
Évidemment, Peugeot se sert de la voiture numéro 8 comme cobaye en lui mettant des pneus moyennement rayurés.
Spots of red on the track now, and Peugeot are rolling the dice, putting a set of inters.
The track surface is actually just beginning to show signs of dampness, and what that is effectively doing is cooling the slick tyres.
Yeah.
So you're effectively running on cold tyres.
Mettre des pneus pluie ou non, c'est le dilemme auquel est confronté Audi. Et c'est une question qui s'est déjà posée par le passé.
When we had the rain, that made a huge difference having Howden there, because he's obviously been in the situation, for example, 2008, where he made that critical decision with the tyres.
This could be a pivotal point in the race. Who makes the right choice regarding tyres?
Remember, the inters were very, very good in the dry.
It ain't going to be dry for long. Huh? It isn't going to be dry for long. Box this lap, Tom. Box this lap for intermediates.
Dry everywhere except at you. Everywhere else is completely dry.
Tom, it's not. It's pissing it down here.
That could be the deciding moment in this motor race. Either way.
These tires are perfect. Half the track is wet. Thank you very much. Now we are talking.
3 ans plus tard, c'est la voiture de Lina et sa décision. Pariant sur une courte averse, Lina décide de laisser les pneus lisses. Maintenant, c'est à son pilote de jouer.
With those sports cars, it's really tough to feel the grip when the track is a bit wet with slicks, and you don't see if the track is wet or dry. That was probably the most difficult race of my life.
What's the track like?
Very tricky, very tricky.
L'avance confortable de l'Audi numéro 2 commence à diminuer. Simon Pagenaud suit à moins de 30 secondes. Et la deuxième voiture, la Peugeot numéro 7, est à moins d'un tour. C'est un moment critique de l'épreuve. Et l'autoreur doit rester prudent. Dans de telles conditions, la prudence est de mise. Les équipes travaillent pendant des années pour que la voiture puisse supporter les éprouvantes 24 heures de course. tous les scénarios possibles sont envisagés. Mais quel que soit le niveau de préparation, la course peut s'arrêter à chaque instant.
Just one little silly moment and all 22 hours can be blown.
La prudence dont a fait preuve le coureur finit par payer. La pluie diminue et l'Allemand reprend de l'avance.
It started to dry again, and I knew that when it was dry, we were a bit faster, so I was just pushing every lap as much as possible.
Andre, stay on full throttle, stay on full throttle.
Luttant avec acharnement pour rester devant la Peugeot numéro 9 de Pagenot, l'Audi qui mène la course arrive à hauteur de la Peugeot la plus lente.
Andre Lotterer has his windscreen full of the back of Peugeot number 7. And Mark Janier pulls in and it hits him! Mark Janier's just hit the leader!
He just turned in and we went boom, we hit big. And I was like, no. But you gotta fight with it. This is the situation you're in, and I'm the only one who can deal with it.
He's forced him off the road! He's forced him off the road! That is quite remarkable! What is he thinking of? This is absolutely disgraceful! This is disgraceful! What are Peugeot thinking of? This is disgraceful!
When a car is many laps down and not even battling to stay on the lead lap, I think they went across the line. Literally as well as metaphorically.
I took contact with the Peugeot people and asked them, please, let the cars that go for victory, one car from yours and the one from ours, give the chance to fight it out between themselves. And then they sent me back an SMS, don't worry, the other cars will not interfere. And then I could tell Andre, attack and go for it.
And the Audi has got through, but that was dangerous in the extreme. That was nonsense.
If I were in the Audi pit at the moment, I would feel like I was walking on a tightrope, because you only have to look down that list and, you know, there's a minute and then there's 9, 8, 7 Peugeots just queued up.
L'Audi numéro 2 a été héroïque. Mais combien de temps ces pilotes pourront-ils continuer à rester devant?
People think, wow, all the pressure on these guys. But for us in the car, in the seat, and within our little group of people, we were focused on racing, performing, and it didn't matter if they were there or not. And pressure is there anyways in racing, and you learn to deal with that.
If you feel pressure, and pressure is heavy, you start to do mistakes. And I never felt pressure. It felt for me like more like motivation to do it.
At that point in time, it was started to become a little bit more realistic, and the chance of a win was creeping up. But what was really creeping through my mind was how small our gap was, and at one stage it was getting smaller, and it was quite a worry.
She was shitting her pants about 2.5 hours before the end of the race. I know Lena very well, and I could tell that she was feeling the strains of leading Le Mans race.
Pendant toute la durée de l'épreuve, la stratégie de Peugeot a été simple. Plus de carburant lors des ravitaillements pour faire moins d'arrêts, et le temps gagné au stand doit permettre de décrocher la victoire. À un peu plus d'1 heure de la fin de la course, la pertinence de cette tactique va être vérifiée.
Andre, box this lap, box this lap.
Détenant 1 minute d'avance, Audi va procéder à son avant-dernier arrêt. La Peugeot numéro 9, qui s'est arrêtée au stand il y a 15 minutes, ne devrait plus s'y rendre qu'une seule fois pour prendre juste assez d'essence afin de terminer la course. C'est le moment de vérité pour les stratèges de chaque équipe. Si Audi parvient à rentrer au stand et à en sortir avant que la Peugeot ne la dépasse, la stratégie d'Audi se sera avérée la meilleure et la victoire se rapproche. Lotterer quitte le stand avec son avance intacte.
I'm amazed that the Audis can make extra pit stops and hold a 16-second advantage.
Pendant la course, Audi a fait 3 arrêts au stand de plus que Peugeot. Une 10e victoire au Mans est maintenant à portée de main. Mais ne le dites pas au docteur Ulrich.
I have learned in Le Mans that the race is never over before really the finish is there. I always pushed myself, not thinking about it's done, because it's done if the checkered flag is down.
Lena, it's tire alarm, Copy that, I'll let him know.
Almost immediately we noticed the tyre pressures and we kept an eye on it, but we were developing a slow puncture. We were monitoring it. We hadn't said anything to him, but he actually came over the radio and said, "Is everything okay?"
My left rear was dropping. I went on the radio. I have a slow puncture on the left.
And I confirmed to him, "You've got a slow puncture, but we've got to stay out. If we don't and we have to do an extra pit stop, we will have lost this." So,
Andre, when you get on the straight, we want to analyse the data to see if we need to make a change.
Un fait de course confirme les appréhensions de Lina. Le leader doit faire un arrêt pour réparer le pneu crevé. Mais à un peu plus de 45 minutes de la fin, Audi ne peut pas faire entrer l'Autoreur tout de suite. Un arrêt maintenant, et il risque de tomber à court de gasoil avant la fin de la course. Comme à Spa, un peu plus tôt dans l'année.
Paul, this is getting interesting because all of a sudden Simon Pagenaud is only seconds behind Lotterer, and this is not as cut and dried as we may have once thought.
Lotterer pilote avec adresse l'Audi numéro 2 pendant presque 5 tours en dépit du pneu qui se dégonfle lentement. Et c'est enfin le moment de faire un arrêt. Lina doit prendre la dernière décision, sans la moindre marge d'erreur.
on the pit wall, I had Howden next to me, and the conversation that we had was whether we changed one tyre or all four.
Et ce n'est pas facile. La victoire est en jeu. Finalement, c'est Monsieur Le Mans lui-même, Tom Christensen, qui est amené à trancher.
And I was called down to hear what I would like to have done in this situation. And yeah, for me, I said all four for sure. You need your weapons sharp.
This was a very important moment. And then at the end, we decided it's the better way to change all four tires.
That's when the call was made. We change all four, give Andre the best chance.
Andre, box this lap.
Copy.
It's all teamwork, and in the end, the right decision was taken.
Lotterer by 24 seconds, and one splash for the Audi driver. Well, and Pagenaud to come in as well.
Plus que 38 minutes. L'Audi numéro 2 et la Peugeot numéro 9 vont toutes les deux rentrer au stand. L'Audi reçoit 4 nouveaux pneus. La Peugeot fait seulement le ravitaillement. C'est un risque calculé. Les pneus usés vont nuire à la maniabilité de la Peugeot, mais l'arrêt plus court pourrait lui permettre de reprendre la tête.
Here comes the leader of the race for its final stop.
It should be a short fill so they can get to the end. It is the final scheduled stop for this car. They are doing a tyre stop. They're cutting down an extra risk. They're changing tyres, so they're going to have a fresh set of boots.
They haven't got time to do that because Pagenaud's come in at the same time. And Pagenaud is about to roll out.
And so he's fired up, he's rolling, it's going to be a battle on the grid, and he's got away ahead. The distance is about 6-7 seconds. That was a very, very clever risk, that one.
So 35 minutes left to go, Johnny, and they left the pits 7.8 seconds between them. There's a steely determination in the eyes of Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich.
Prêt au combat, Lotterer se lance à nouveau sur le circuit, imprimant un rythme que Pagenaud a du mal à suivre. La stratégie ne joue maintenant plus aucun rôle. L'issue de la course se jouera sur la vitesse pure.
Andre Lotterer, 347 laps completed, 12.3 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, led by Simon Pagenaud. This is honest to goodness drama, excitement all the way to the end, with Andre Lotterer still only leading by 13 seconds.
I know, and anything can happen.
I'm really nervous.
It's horrible. I don't want to be here, to be honest.
Il ne reste plus que 10 minutes et la moindre erreur, aussi minime soit-elle, peut être fatale. La tension est insupportable. L'autoreur la maîtrise en creusant calmement son avance.
The gap has gone out to 17.7 seconds.
It hasn't gone up through one big jump. It's just been tickle, tickle, tickle. Every lap, a little bit quicker, a little bit quicker.
Who's writing the script for this? Will you tell them to turn the drama level down to maybe 11 or 12 out of 10?
Andre, stay cool. It's one more lap. One more lap.
And we still hold our breath on the final lap, which will be a full-speed final lap. There's about 7.5 miles still to run.
Plus que 3 minutes et demie avant la fin de l'édition 2011 des 24 heures du Mans. Un seul tour de circuit sépare encore Audi de la victoire. Au cours des années précédentes, l'équipe Audi s'alignait le long du mur pour saluer la victoire. Mais pas cette année. L'issue de la course est bien trop incertaine et l'équipe entière est restée dans les stands. Les 24 heures du Mans sont terminées. Red Sonja a dominé le circuit de la Sarthe.
There's 4 Peugeots behind, but there's 4 rings on the top of the podium at Le Mans 2011.
L'Audi numéro 2 a passé le drapeau à damier avec un peu plus de 13 secondes d'avance. C'est la 10e victoire d'Audi en 12 ans.
You go through the line and then boom, suddenly all your emotions come. You're like, wow, we made it, fantastic. When you watch the images after, you just have to cry a little bit because it's just so much, so intense.
For me, it was a mental roller coaster with the perfect finish.
This was the nicest moment in my career, almost in my life, I would say.
Yeah, this is getting goosebumps now. It's an amazing feeling to win Le Mans. You know, you enter in the history of the best drivers.
I was really, really happy, and then I cried. So I was, yeah, like a baby.
It's a whole year's worth of work that culminates in 24 hours of racing. It was a really big moment, I think.
Énorme ne serait pas un qualificatif suffisant. L'édition 2011 du Mans est historique. Lina Gade est la première femme chef ingénieur à gagner l'épreuve.
When she found herself alone with her car, and the drivers fighting the 3 Peugeots, I think the pressure on her was immense, but still at the end, it was her that had to manage it, to work it out perfect. I'm very proud on her.
H had said over the radio that he was really proud of me and I'd done a really good job. Everything I've learned from him, but also knowing that I guess I hadn't let him down because he'd taken a real gamble pushing me forward to be a race engineer. So it was a little bit emotional.
It's just incredible, you know. It's difficult to realize, but it was a very hard race with a very strong competitor, and it makes the race even better and the win even better.
Dès leur 2e année en tant que coéquipiers, Benoît Tréluyer, André Lautereur et Marcel Fessler ont fait leur preuve. Ils sont sacrés champions et passent à la postérité. 13 secondes,85. Ce n'est pas beaucoup. Mais c'est assez pour dominer le sport automobile, pour savourer une victoire bien méritée et pour ne jamais oublier comment chaque seconde compte.